We are now just 22 days away from the most important election of our lives. 22 days. And here's an even better number, 100. What do you think 100 stands for? 100 days until Donald Trump is evicted from the White House. And it's all up to us. If you've seen the polls, on average, Joe Biden's got a 10-point lead. Hillary Clinton never had anything close to that in 2016. It's about us getting our base out. We win this election. Stay focused, stay angry, and make a plan to vote. That's how we're going to win this election. And by the way, I know Donald Trump, things are getting better for him. You have to be honest. He got a big endorsement over the weekend. He got endorsed by the Taliban. I'm not kidding. The Taliban endorsed him. You might ask, why did the Taliban endorse him? Is it because he likes to treat women as badly as the Taliban? Maybe. Is it because Donald Trump, like the Taliban, wants to embolden militias to threaten elected officials? Maybe. But in reality, what happened is the Taliban endorsed Donald Trump because Donald Trump announced last week, suddenly, that we're going to pull all our troops out of Afghanistan by Christmas. He never told our military leaders before he did this. This also flies in the face of Donald Trump's whole thing. Remember during the campaign, you don't telegraph what you're going to do? Well, he did. Taliban loves it. Donald Trump's a uniter. He's brought together the Taliban and white supremacists to support him. Perhaps Trump should run for mayor of Kandahar. I think he might do better there. What's Trump doing tonight? He's going out to spread COVID. That's right. He's going to spread the COVID love starting tonight in Florida and the next few nights in a row, even though we have not gotten any indication from his doctors that he's tested negative for COVID. So he might be positive. He might still be spreading it, but that doesn't matter. Why is Trump going? Simple. If you saw what happened, he had a rally Saturday in the Rose Garden on the South Lawn. And they expected 2,000 people. Only a few hundred showed up. But in any event, they started cheering, "We love you, Trump. We love you. We love you." And he goes, "Oh, I love you back." That's why Trump's going out there. He needs the ego stroke. This has nothing to do with politics. And I'll explain exactly why. Because he doesn't need it to get his message out. It's also vastly unpopular with Americans, the idea of doing these rallies. He's doing it for him. That's all he's doing it for. For example, you might say, well, aren't these rallies what candidates usually do to close the gap? Because Donald Trump is trailing Joe Biden on an average by 10 points right now and in key swing states. In normal times, yes, that's what you do. We're not in normal times. We now have over 215,000 of our fellow Americans have died from COVID. There's been an alarming spike in new cases in the last few weeks. These are dangerous times. You have a rally to get your message out. The reality is Donald Trump doesn't need a rally to get his message out. We saw it last week. He was convalescing from COVID. He still went on Fox News from the White House. He was on Rush Limbaugh's show. He tweeted out videos of himself. They all made headlines. He got his message out. He doesn't need to have a rally. Secondly, what he really needs to do is focus on the swing states where he's trailing, like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Florida. You don't have to have a rally to get press there. The reason candidates go to these swing states in person is really to get local press. Because by visiting, like Joe Biden's in Ohio today, in Cincinnati, and in Toledo, tons of local press because he's there. That's how you move people in swing states. Trump doesn't have to have a rally to do that. He is president, and he will be for 100 more days, and then it's over. But until then, if he shows up in Toledo now, he gets a lot of press. He doesn't have to have a rally. He can tour a factory. He can go to a farm in Wisconsin and actually maybe stay on message for a second. I'm just being blunt here about politics. If he went to maybe just a farm in Wisconsin and stayed on message, it's far better for his campaign than these rallies where, what are the headlines afterwards? Trump lied 20 times. Trump saw that outrageous thing. He was erratic. That's not helping him. So I'm just being blunt here. Politically, it doesn't help him either. And add to that, polls show, and there's been various polls showing only about 25% of Americans approve of the idea of either Biden or Trump doing rallies right now. 25%, that's it. Think rallies by either Trump or Biden are a good idea. So it doesn't help there. And that's even before what we learned on Friday, that in Minnesota, where Trump did a rally last month, 9 people who attended his rally have got COVID, 2 are in the hospital, 1's in ICU. So it doesn't make sense politically. It doesn't help us get his message out. What is this for? It's for Trump. It's only for Trump. And you would think now with the spike in COVID cases, he would care about Americans, but he doesn't care about us. You know, what we saw is, and I actually think there's a connection here. September 8th, that was Donald Trump's first rally after taking the summer off during the big spike. That time we were averaging about 35,000 new COVID cases a day. September 8th, 35,000 new cases. Since then, he's been going rallies. No masks, no social distancing. Where are we now after 6 weeks of Donald Trump doing that? We are now averaging nearly 50,000 new cases a day. In fact, last week we broke 50,000 several days in a row. Our average now is around 48,000. We're up by 12% since a week ago. This is alarming numbers. And this spike is not called exclusively by Donald Trump having these rallies. That would be unfair. We're going to be slightly fair here. But by having rallies where Trump is showcasing his supporters not wearing masks, not social distancing, what's the message to the rest of his supporters around the country? Don't wear a mask. Don't socially distance. Listen to Donald Trump's words when he lied in September saying, we've turned the corner and the worst is behind us on COVID. That was a lie. And these numbers backed it up. In fact, Dr. Fauci, September 10th, when Donald Trump said, we've turned a corner, Dr. Fauci publicly said that's not true. Well, at that time, September 10th, we were averaging 35,000 new cases a day. Today, we are just about 50,000 new cases a day. Clearly, Trump was lying again, like he lied months and months ago when he knew how dangerous his virus is. So all of this comes down to this bottom line. These rallies don't help Trump get his message out. They don't help politically, and they don't help with the pandemic. In fact, they make it worse. And the reality is, Trump clearly cares more about the needs of his own ego and having a crowd cheering for him than keeping Americans safe. And that's really where we are now as a nation. This is not partisan. That's the reality, because I give you a hardball, real political analysis here. No partisanship. Do a rally, to get press, get your message out. In the case of Donald Trump during a pandemic, don't have to do it. He's doing it for him. He doesn't care if his base gets sick. He doesn't care if innocent Americans get sick. He's doing this so he can have cheers and crowds and feel good about himself and spew lies. After Donald Trump loses, I will predict he will continue to do rallies. And Fox News will cover that. I hope the rest of the media turns their back on him and lets him just go off in the sunset. But he will continue with these rallies because he needs the rallies. It's not about winning anymore for Trump. It's about him internally. That's where we are. So we're talking about that on my show, but also talk a lot about Amy Coney Barrett. Today was just opening statements. I thought the Democrats did a phenomenal job of staying on the message. Amy Coney Barrett's job, when she gets confirmed, and she will, barring some Republicans changing their mind, that's not going to happen because she's everything the GOP has been working towards. It's going to end the ACA. We have the Big ACA case coming up November 10th. She will vote to end it. And there'll be no more coverage for over 20 million Americans who get their insurance either through Medicaid expansion or subsidies. And secondly, all of us will lose mandated coverage for pre-existing conditions. Meaning, go back to the old days, you might not remember 10 years ago, what happens is that either the insurers don't cover you at all, they just drop you completely, or second, they give you an insurance policy but exclude coverage for your pre-existing condition, or third, offer you coverage but at ridiculously expensive rates that you can never afford. And the result is you're uninsurable again. That's the world that Donald Trump and the GOP want to go to. They voted 70 times to get rid of the ACA. They have no backup plan. That's the reality. That's her job. And I thought the Democrats did a great job making that case to our fellow Americans. This is what her job is. And you want to send a message, vote November 3rd. So thanks for tuning in. My show's live 6 to 9 p.m. for the whole 3 hours. Join us tonight, SiriusXM channel 127. Go to SiriusXM.com. Check it out. Do a free trial. Join the conversation. Be part of our family. Help us defeat Trump. Stay angry. We're going to win this.